So, all right, Leroy, let's get into this, man. So, the first thing that we always like to ask everybody is how did you discover professional wrestling? What made you fall in love with it as a fan, as a little Leroy?
As little nasty Leroy. All right, I want to see if I give you the real answer or the true answer.
Give me the
Um,
real answer, man. We're trying
Come
to
on,
get to
man.
know the man behind the character, bro. Peel that curtain back just a little bit.
um, okay. I'll give you the most honest answer I give everybody. It's the
Appreciate you.
truest answer. I can't have it. Um, I found professional wrestling around. I think it was around like 97, 98, probably give or take. I know that when my first and people may think this is just I'm saying this because I've always been anti uh WWE or whatever. Um, I I found professional wrestling because of ECW. Um, I was a kid that grew up in a group home. I don't know my actual biological parents. Uh, I know like my cousins and I have brothers and stuff. I ancestry.com and all that. But growing up in Philadelphia, I grew up in a group home. I grew up with a lot of kids that uh, I was, we was close, but we wasn't super close. But we fought for the TV every day, and like I never. So the whole thing is when you grew up in the '90s, you probably love wrestling and you probably love the Attitude Era. I really didn't like uh WWF wrestling at the time. But actually, when I peeked into it, I think the only match that I went to live was like early Stone Cold when he was facing Savio Vega. That's all match I remember off the top of my head. But I wasn't like really curious to know about it. So I always say like I found wrestling during a commercial. So when ECW had a commercial, they had I remember like it was yesterday. It was like come see the most extreme underground wrestling, renegade wrestling, known to man, extreme championship wrestling. And ever since then I was so intrigued to know what this, underground uh organization was and what they was promoting it as and stuff like that. So I got to get my super guardians to take me to well, the Guardians, they took me to a show, but the bus had broke down. Then we went on a train, and to the biggest of the little kids, we went to the ECW arena. And I was probably like the youngest kid. The oldest kid was probably like 15. Um, it 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 was probably like the no, not like it probably was. It was the best experience at the time because I had never seen anything like this. Um,
How
I've
old would you
always
think that you were at the time?
mm, I would go with 8, but I can't say it. I would probably say 8, 9 around that
Okay.
area.
Okay.
Maybe 10 if I had to. So yeah, that whole thing. I remember Billy Ray coming up to Bubba Ray at the time was coming up to me and it was like, he was pushing everybody and he was like talking shit to everybody. And like, some kids grew up with their parents and they can't cuss and everything like that, right? I didn't have that problem, so they let me cuss all the time. So like to me, it's nothing to me to cuss. So I try to like when I'm at family friendlies to keep it at I gotten better. So I said to Bubba Ray at the time because he was messing with my friend at the time, Don Trey. I said, fuck you, Billy Ray. and stuff. Even back then, I wanted to was ready to crash out and fight somebody over my peoples. So yeah, the whole organization I just liked it. I was I wasn't a fan, but I liked it. I liked that it was this was I thought it was cooler than what it was on TV. Um, Years later, I know it's a long ass explanation. Years later, I get adopted by my current family I live with, or not live with, but I'm a part of. And my brothers, Jonathan and Theron, was big Stone Cold, big The Rock fans. They like all the other guys on WWE and stuff, and like I couldn't turn away from it basically. So it's like early 2000s. I had to be like 15 probably, and my every time Stone Cold came out there, my brother made me hate Stone Cold, and basically I just rebelled. I just anything my brothers liked, I didn't like. So I would watch it just to spite of them of liking different people. Did you turn the light on in the living room? So um, it's it's a thing. It's a thing where so if my brother would be liking The Rock and both of my brothers, they like all the main event guys, right? So I usually would like the Intercontinental title guys or whatever. So, your Jericho's, your Billy Guns and all that kinds of stuff. So, I like the Road Dog and all that, which is funny now because Billy Gunn's my coach, and I troll him all the time about how I'm a NWO guy. I don't really like DX. I get my ass whooped for it, but so I went to my uncle's house, uh, and I was watching like WWE because I only that's what I knew at the time, and I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like it, so it was on. I watched it, uh, and I went to my first independent show. It was Ring of Honor Chicago Reds. It was Jimmy Jacobs and it was Jay Briscoe, and Adrian Fall debuted, and that was the moment. I think I could say hanging up when he was hanging up on the ceiling, and then because the Adrian Fall promo, and I was like, oh, I like this. It wasn't just that; it was also like Homicide and like the whole Ring of Honor presentation, and I was like, oh, I like this. Matter of fact, no, it came to I liked wrestling, but I love this. I actually love Ring of Honor. Um, so that and going to AAW shows, and it was a fun time with my friend Stevie and my uncle and all that kind of stuff. Uh, and so yeah, me and my uncle used to all the time used to go to like Shimmer shows every time I'm in the Chicagoland area. Every time we go to up the Burlington Eagle Club, he knew the guy who owned the building, so he would like, yeah, I know the guy who owns the building. We can just go up there. So we go in there, he get discounted tickets and stuff. And he would tell the promoter to give me discounted tickets, and we walk watch Shimmer and stuff. He used to mess with me and him all the time about like all different kinds of funny jokes, and me and he didn't want to almost kick his ass all the time, but he liked Shimmer and stuff. So I ended up liking professional wrestling because of like the other stuff, and then like old school. I hate to even compare this about me and that rat bastard MJF, but just like MJF, I liked old school wrestling. I actually loved it more than I like the current stuff. And I think that's the only similarities I will only give that rat. That I like. Oh, I never seen Flair. I never seen Dusty. I never seen like the territories, and I thought this was like the whole nother world that I just like. My uncle just put me on. Like, of course, and if anybody watches me, that's like you see homicide, you can see Cole Cabana in my style because I know his fucking style, and you can definitely see Dusty Rhodes because like people that caught my attention. Flair, of course. Um, So yeah, I just like the alternative. I always thought like independent wrestling like it was like very interesting and it was very like another world. And that's what made me want to be a wrestler. Like maybe want to go to like different places like they went and shit. So
Listen,
Okay.
you're totally better than MJF. Don't worry, buddy.
Yeah,
MJF got nothing on you, dude.